This is my child father, and I was pregnant by him in 2016. I gave birth to a beautiful baby boy named Melbourne Halo Metter. And my child father, Austin John Metter, is a white Caucasian male, and he is very abusive. He has been charged several times for attacking me. Even while I was pregnant, he was putting me in the hospital with Melby. And he ended up going to prison when Melbourne was 5 or 6 weeks old. We were living in Conroe, Texas, in an apartment at 1308 Houston Street, apartment 3. It was my apartment, and Austin John Metter was being violent with me and my son in the home, even when he was a newborn baby. And he ended up going to prison, and I raised Melbourne Halo Metter by myself from the time that he went to prison. And these is photographs of me and my son at my apartment, 1308 Houston Street, apartment 3. And Austin John Metter was in prison, and his mother, his adopted mother, she's white as well, Cynthia Olvera, was helping us out. And they asked me not to put Austin on child support while he was in jail. I had my child in daycare, worked off and on part-time, and his adopted father, Joseph Olvera, who is a Hispanic male, was helping to pay the rent at my apartment while Austin was in prison. His family had also given us a vehicle when I was 5 months pregnant with Melbourne, and Austin was beating me up for the vehicle and robbing me at my house before he went to prison. So at this time, it was me and my son in the house. We had a 2-bedroom apartment at 1308 Houston Street. He had his own nursery, and I had my own room as well. Me and my son was very close. He was breastfed. I kept all his ultrasound pictures. I was a single black African Indian mother with a mixed race child, and they started targeting me in the community, trying to do things outside of my home while his father, Austin John Metter, was in prison. I was getting letters saying that he was becoming affiliated with racist gang members. I never responded to any of the letters. I asked him why did he have other inmates right in my home. I never set up the telephone to talk to Austin while he was in prison. He was writing me letters. Austin John Metter's mother, Cynthia Olvera, was sending him money and helping me and my son out with money while he was in prison. And she would visit my son and I at our home at 1308 Houston Street, take us to eat, and her husband Joseph would visit us and take us to eat, or sometimes we would meet them somewhere and eat, or we would meet them at their family member's house, and I would let her see my son. But I kept my son primarily. I never let nobody watch him. This is us at Joseph Olvera's mother's house for Easter, but I raised my son, and his father was in prison on an assault charge. They charged him for assault on a public servant after he had been attacking me before I got pregnant with Melbourne, and when I first got pregnant with Melbourne, and they evicted us from 230 Avenue G, where he was charged with assault family violence for attacking me before I was pregnant with Melbourne. Around the time that I got pregnant with Melbourne, Austin was charged with trying to rape me and went to the Montgomery County Jail. He spent a lot of time in the Montgomery County Jail on a probation violation for the rape charge, and when he got out, he came to my apartment. I was pregnant, and he assaulted me throughout my pregnancy, putting me in the hospital multiple times while I was pregnant with Melbourne. And after I gave birth to Melbourne, he continued attacking me and trying to be violent. He was trying to throw objects at my son and punching me in my breast while I was breastfeeding, and I ended up calling the police. He was arrested from my home in December 2016, and I raised Melbourne by myself from December 2016 all the way to July 2018, which was when Austin got out of prison. And he came into my home attacking me and Melbourne. He was punching him and knocking him on his head, and he was knocking me over. And the police were called several times, and he was fleeing from the police. And I told the police that he was assaulting me in my home. I ended up shooting my baby daddy, my white baby daddy, Austin, in the leg in a restaurant where I went in for help with my son and told them that he was assaulting us. And they arrested me, took me to the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas, and I was pregnant by Austin again and bleeding. He got me pregnant when he got out of the prison. They denied my pregnancy in the Montgomery County Jail and starved me. They said they was going to rape my son and molest and kill my son as retaliation because I shot a white man. They sued me for my son, let me out of the jail August 22nd, 2019 with the starved baby still inside of me alive. And then Cynthia said she was going to be raping my baby, and the blacks said they was going to gang rape my baby because I shot a white man. Now blacks in the entire country are trying to set me up to be murdered with my baby still inside of me, refusing me medical care, and did never return my son to me.